Hey everybody, Jason Vermis here. And as we speak, the vaccine is being rolled out throughout the United States of America. Now, on top of that, there's a huge push, there's a huge campaign to put people who are in the public eye on television and getting the vaccine. Okay, that's fine. You do your thing, go. But what I keep trying to repeat to people, what I keep screaming from the rooftops, is they are not advertising that this vaccine is going to either stop infection or lower the infection rate. Do you get it? Do you understand? How many times do I have to tell you that? But Jason, it's got a 90+% efficacy rate. The efficacy that they are testing, again, as I have been trying to tell you, is the efficacy of producing antibodies. That is all. That is all. That is all. This is already a virus that carries, according to the WHO in August, a survival rate of 99.4%. Now, in this video, the doctor's taking it, and they're taking it on, I think it's Today. Yeah, mainstream media, Al Roker. Yeah. Vin Gupta. Yeah. Okay. They say that it's been proven that the virus lowers the chance of you dying from pneumonia, like a pneumonial outbreak. That's the first time I've heard that claim. Okay, I want to repeat that. But again, when you have a 99.4% survival rating, and most people that are either treated with the authoritative or the non-authoritative treatments that doctors around the world are using, we won't mention them here, we've mentioned them many times. Why in the world am I taking a shot that they are openly saying they don't know will stop infection? And in this, I think the doctor says, we'll find out more in 2 to 4 weeks. But what they keep repeating again and again and again and again is how safe it is. Oh, it's so safe. Jason, this is the safest thing ever. It's Safety McGrady. It's Safety McGiver. Really? Is that a fact? I don't know if that's a fact, Jack. All right? So before we get going, I want to remind people, need your support now more than ever. $5, $10, $15, big donors. You mean the world to me. If you are watching this live, then you are watching it free on Rockfin. Still haven't hit 9,000. I'd love to hit 10,000 over here. And, come on, follow down. Monday through Friday. You're getting it live here before anywhere else. And yesterday's is a full exclusive. Didn't post that anywhere. I know a lot of you are upset that I took the day off from YouTube. But I spent some time with filmmaker Paul Wittenberger. And there's a Paul Wittenberger exclusive on this channel as well for the premium members. He's the documentary filmmaker behind What in the World Are They Spraying and many others. And he's currently doing a documentary on COVID-19. And he was kind enough to come out here to my place and interview me for that project. So when that's out there, we're going to have him on again. And, obviously, a lot of the things I discussed with him about COVID-19 84, we will be discussing here today. And again, these guys are telling you how safe this is. There's been no long-term studies. No long-term safety studies whatsoever. And there's no studies and no proof that it lowers or stops infection. I wish I was making this up. And then we could get into the HIV aspect of this thing, that now there's all these false positives. And there's even mainstream articles out there talking about how it may heighten your risk for getting HIV. I mean, my God. Can you imagine, like, in the height of the hysteria around HIV, like, even pre-Magic Johnson, right? A lot of people were scared during that Magic Johnson period, but even pre-Magic Johnson, when it was really, really scary, they're like, yeah, we're going to give you a vaccine. And maybe sort of kind of you could test positive for HIV. Or maybe sort of kind of it'd be a lot easier for you to get HIV. People would have looked at you and screamed in your face like, we're not that far gone yet. What is going on here? Okay? So remember, after the vid, go over to YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed there as well. And check out all the documentary films. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order to Find, and Shade, the motion picture. Free right here, right now, whenever, and for now. But you got Shade in high definition here on Rockfin. So make sure to share that as well. Bring people in with Shade. That one is more important than ever. Again, I'm not just jumping on the I don't like Bill Gates bandwagon. He's got a 20-minute section in that film. Okay? 20 minutes. So, with that being said, let's move on here to the love fest of how great this vaccine is and how it's going to save the world and how everybody's got to take it except for the fact that we don't know if it will even stop infection. That's the last, and by the way, it's about a 6.5-minute clip. They don't tell you that till 5 minutes in. Do you think that's on purpose? Why wouldn't you open with that concern? Or open with the concern not that it's safe, but that there's no long-term studies on safety. So odd how the world works today. But let's get to all the very good-looking people in full makeup telling us how loving they are.
As we've been telling you, frontline workers are among the first to receive the vaccine. And this morning, we're joined by two of them who are going to get their vaccinations live right now.
That's right. One of them, NBC News medical contributor Dr. Vin Gupta, and his colleague, Dr. Elliot Fagley, critical care section head at Virginia Mason Medical Center in Seattle. Guys, good morning to both of you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
So, Dr. Gupta, you've been in this with us from the beginning. You talked about this. You months ago said you would get the vaccine live on the air with us. So what does it mean to you to be moments away from getting this vaccine?
What does it mean? Oh, what a historic moment. This is so historic. We've been waiting for this for the get-go. No. The media has said we've been waiting for this from the get-go. The vast majority of people that still have their sanity have been hoping and praying that people are going to start pushing back. And let me say this. There's a big win this week in Iowa. The restrictions are done. The 10 p.m. curfew is over. The bars and restaurants are open, and I intend to have a beer tonight. Yep. I moved here for a reason, folks. You know who didn't wear a mask getting his coffee this morning? This guy. Social gathering restrictions over, and although my kids are only back in school, 2 days a week, my nieces, hopefully that's going to change after the break. Okay? Because if it doesn't, we still have to push back. We still have to get in there and say, listen, even less restrictions. We don't even like what's going on around us. This is ridiculous. And more people have to do it. That's what we've been waiting for. Not some haphazard vaccine for a virus, again, that the WHO says 99.4% of the time you survive. And that's a low number, so it's more than that. And not for a vaccine that's testing the efficacy of antibodies and not testing the efficacy of whether it actually stops infection. This is insanity. But Al Roker's not going to tell you that. He's going to tell you about the historic moment.
Well, Al, good morning. First of all, I would say that this is the culmination of a scientific process that's been rigorous, that's been time-tested.
Time-tested.
And Americans need to feel comfortable with this notion that this is a safe and effective vaccine. So I'm really thrilled and privileged to join my colleague, Dr. Fagley, to lead by example.
He's thrilled and privileged, and it's a safe and effective vaccine. But he's going to tell you they don't even know the effectiveness of whether or not it's going to stop infection. Remember, the efficacy is on the antibodies. That's the big joke. You see how they talk to you like you're children? Huh? Do you get it? And a time-tested, this is the quickest vaccine we've ever seen in the history of humanity. Time-tested.
And Dr. Fagley, you've been on the front lines as well treating COVID patients. Is personal risk something that has always been in the back of your mind? And how will you go forward now after you get this vaccine?
Well, that's a great question. Of course, personal risk has been sort of top of mind during all of this. As we started taking care of these patients at the very beginning, we really didn't have a great idea of what we were up against necessarily. As time has gone on, we've obviously gotten more familiar with caring for these patients. But even after the vaccine, I don't know that things are really going to change all that much in terms of the way we protect ourselves.
So let me just explain this. Right here, he's softening you up, letting you know that you're going to be masked up, you're going to be social distanced, your business is going to be closed even after you take the thing. They're going to warn you basically without saying you can get others sick and become a super spreader because you're shedding the virus. He's going to allude to that fact. And this is a twice dose. Two-timer, a boop and a boop. Weeks apart. What are we thinking? You know, these people should be confronted with every talking point that I'm making because there is a refusal by the mainstream media to even ask the simple questions that I'm asking. That any thinking person would ask, like, why are we doing this if I'm not going to be able to take my mask off and open my business? Why are we doing this if we don't know this is going to lower the infection rate? Why are you saying that this is time tested when it's the most rushed vaccine in history and there's multiple vaccines doing multiple things? Those are simple questions. Maybe I'm a little older than these guys. A little more grays, huh? Maybe I got a little more wisdom. Doubt it. I'm not a doctor or a nurse. And these things are popping into my little noggin.
Mainly because we need to continue to protect ourselves so that we can keep protecting the rest of the community as we finish taking care of some of these patients and then head back home to care for our loved ones.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate all that you guys are doing. So let's get right to it. Are you ready? Just so everybody at home knows, we're going to have Nurse Allison come out now. She'll administer the vaccine.
Look at that smile,
And while she's doing that, Allison, you can come on in.
Allison, come on over.
Come on in.
Can you hear me, Allison? Oh, she can't hear me, so she's just going to do what she has to do. Dr. Fagley, I don't know if you can talk and get a shot at the same time, but if you can, I couldn't.
I can't.
I know there's no way I can close my eyes and wince. So the other one of you guys can.
I'll do my.
Look at this. Look at this. If this doesn't scream to you, we live in the twilight zone, a true dystopic reality of 2020 madness. This is the shot. This is the shot. A couple of doctors propagandizing you about the safety and effectiveness of a vaccine they don't know will stop or lower infection. And they're telling you it's time tested when it's the most rushed vaccine ever and there's been no long-term safety trials. And they're laughing it up. They're laughing it up. If this isn't Dystopia 2020, this is hilarious to them. I don't think it's funny. I know I've been pretty sarcastic lately, doing a lot of loving broadcasts. This isn't funny to me.
Best.
Okay, either one of you can answer this question. You've got those cowboy boots on. This fellow Kansan noticed that. Tell us about the logistics here. What can people expect who are in line? Oh my gosh, I'm talking to you and I feel bad that you're getting a shot.
Squirm.
Do you want me to ask you? Are you sure? Okay.
He's a pro.
All
He can
right.
handle it.
So for the people who are getting this Pfizer vaccine, what can they expect?
Well, we're expecting that it'll probably be something similar to the flu shot. There'll be a little bit of local discomfort, just like anytime you get any vaccine. Some folks may have symptoms, some folks may not. We're expecting to, feel like we have a little bit of a reaction to just about any other type of shot.
Oh, any other type of shot. So all those articles that I brought up saying what? People, you know what? Let's do that one live because I think it's no walk in the park. Okay? Let's see if we can bring that up. Okay? Let's the not ready for antibody drug. No. Let's see. Thumbs this video up. Park COVID vaccine. Okay. Yeah. So just so everybody knows that I'm not, kooky crazy. COVID vaccine. See, and this is from a woman who works for the American Medical Association. It won't be a walk in the park. Now, he's softening you up. Remember, you're still going to be restricted. Your business is still going to be closed. You're still going to wear a mask, all that stuff. The vaccine is only effective in creating the antibodies. Oh, yeah. And when he talks about side effects, he's talking about the same effects that come with a case of COVID-19. Now, not everybody, not 70% of the population is going to get infected with this. And even if 70% did, there's such a high asymptomatic rating. Why would you take a vaccine that gives you high fever, body aches, bad headaches, day-long exhaustion, and other symptoms? It's so bad that they're warning people they may not come back for the second shot they need. Okay, you see that? Moderna's and Pfizer's vaccine trials. You get it? You understand? And he's softening you up, right? He's tenderizing your ass. You get it? Do you understand? Is this cutesy and funny to you? It's not to me. You know, when I brought up the HIV stuff, that's so unbelievable that you'd have to go to Forbes to read it. And the false, because I want to come up and, whoa, I've got HIV? False positives? Whoa. Oh, totally taking this vaccine. But, well, why isn't this a part of your little Today show? No, it's safe and effective. It's tested in time, true science. It's settled science, Jason. Why are you so anti-vaccine? They're telling you they don't even know if it's going to work. They're laughing in your face.
This is just wild. This is the COVID vaccine.
I wish you could
this
see
is the vaccine we've been waiting for since the beginning.
Big deal.
I'm smiling as big as I'm smiling as big as I can under my mask, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah, because this is a transhumanist movement, and you know I can see under your eyes how funny you think this is. Not funny to me, buddy. Not funny to me, friend.
Gupta, you and I have talked about this a number of times, especially since word of a vaccine started. For folks who are watching or listening, who might be scared or skeptical, what's your message to them as you get ready to get your vaccine as well?
Now, number one, this would be about as far as they go with any warnings. And they're going to talk about people that have allergic reactions or autoimmune disorders, and they still outright do not tell them not to get it. All right? They say that they need to talk to their physician and they might need a monitored dose of the vaccine. It never even crosses their mouths that maybe this isn't the vaccine for them. Why? That's not on the agenda. That's not on the boilerplate. I thought this was about love and saving people. I thought this was the most loving vaccine of all time.
You know, Craig, I'm really glad you asked that.
I'm sure you are.
The first message is similar to what I said up front, which is to say that we know this vaccine is safe and effective. We know that it's particularly safe in preventing severe pneumonia from COVID-19, meaning...
So there's the pneumonia claim. I've never heard that claim before, okay? But again, that's the first time I've heard that claim.
You're not going to see docs like Dr. Fagley and I in an ICU if you get the vaccine. So
I don't think that we would have seen either of you in the ICU if you got COVID. So what are we talking about here? Talk about, a false comparison. You get what I'm saying here? You see how this is a total fluff, whitewash bullshit piece? That's really going to just give you, again, we're 4 minutes deep in the piece, and they still haven't told you that they don't even know if this is going to stop the infection rate.
That's first and foremost. I think we need to keep that top of mind, that this is going to save people's lives, this vaccine. We also know it's safe, that there's, at worst, mild side effects, injection site soreness potentially, maybe a low-grade temperature, a headache, but those go away within 24 hours, so that's pretty clear as well.
So again, that's not what's being told in this article. They say that sometimes it could be gone in 24 hours, but sometimes it does linger. Again, they're warning you that people, it's Dr. Sandra Fryhofer of the American Medical Association, not Jason Burmis, This wasn't discussed anywhere. And they're certainly not talking about the HIV aspect. You get it? They're certainly not talking about the HIV aspect. Safe and effective. Tested science. He still hasn't even given you the haphazard warning which is, essentially Johnny nonsense. Listen to this.
And lastly, I will say is for those who might have severe allergic reactions, I know there's been a lot of questions about that. Severe allergic reactions, should you get the vaccine? What's clear is that if you have that profile, talk to your clinical provider. Talk to them about what types of allergic reactions you've had in the past, and you're likely still going to be just fine if you get the vaccine in a monitored setting. So
you're likely going to be just fine. Likely. Not definitely. And notice it said monitored setting. Never once does this guy suggest that maybe this isn't the vaccine for you. Never once. Now, I've seen other mainline doctors actually say at least that. If you have allergic reactions, if you have an autoimmune disorder. Or some have actually warned you. This guy? No. We're about to be 5 minutes deep, and here come the real bangers. Here come the real pieces of information that you need to know.
It's going to be really important for all of us to understand that this vaccine, Craig, is the only way out of this pandemic. It's broadly safe. We're learning more, as Dr. Faegele just mentioned.
Only way out of this pandemic. Even though he just told you, the other doctor just told you that life's not going back to normal. Cuomo has told you you're not going back to normal. Fauci has told you you're going to mask up and social distance. Biden has told you you're going to mask up for the first 100 days of his presidency. Biden has told you he's hiring 100,000 contact tracers for COVID 1984 and other diseases and medical conditions. The Israelis just admitted that their contact tracing program was only effective 13.5% of the time and were lying to the public to implement it because it has nothing to do with the virus. And yet the only way out is this vaccine. And we're learning more. Here's what we're learning. We're going to learn whether this even works or not.
We're learning more about how long immunity lasts. How long are we protected after this 2-dose regimen? And that's number one. And then number two, we're going to learn, does this vaccine protect against severe pneumonia? Does it also, we already know that, does it also protect against transmission?
5 minutes, 10 seconds into the piece, we're going to find out whether it protects against transmission. What are you talking about, man? They don't even, and then he talks about after the double dose, how long immunity is going to last. Don't you get it? This isn't just a boop, boop. This is a boop, 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 a boop, 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 a boop, boop, a boop, 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 a boop. Anytime they want, for anything they want. For anything they want. And when I say they, I am talking about the predator class. I am talking about these monsters behind the Great Reset. I am talking about Andrew, Capo, Cuomo, and Newsom. Even though those guys are like high-level puppets at best. And this guy, he's a real low-level puppet. Letting you in on the... You know what? Let's back it up so people can hear it again. They want you to take a vaccine for something that has a 99.4+% survival rate that they don't know will even stop transmission of the virus.
Number two, we're going to learn, does this vaccine protect against severe pneumonia? Does it also, we already know that, does it also protect against transmission? That's the key question here. Does this vaccine protect against transmission? Because a vaccine can protect against severe illness leading to the ICU, but it can also potentially still allow for infection where people are unwittingly transmitting the virus.
Yeah.
We're going to have clarity on that question, guys, in the next 2 to 4 weeks, and I think that's going to be really important for the American people.
Wonderful. Not a question. Wonderful. Well, that's just great news. That's just great news. That's the end of the piece right there. Do you see how all this works? Do you get it? You know? And, we're seeing other side effects outside of that, what they said. Facial swelling. Again, the HIV thing is out there. We haven't seen any of the long-term effects. We have the paperwork out there with the possibility that a separate type of antibody may be produced, humoral antibodies, and those antibodies may cause problems with reproduction and fertility and the placenta. That's not Jason Burma saying it. Again, there's no long-term studies on it yet, and that's the point. And they said if they did do that, it would be quite a while before anybody realized that this had taken effect en masse. But they want to tell you how safe this thing is and effective it is. And then at the tail end, they say they don't even know the effectiveness of stopping the spread. 15 days to stop the spread, guys. 15 days. Guys, I want to thank you for joining me live here on Rockfin. Again, we do it live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Yesterday's is a full exclusive. It's still free. Make the free account if you're watching this on the replay. I couldn't do it without your support. $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. Big donors. Thank you so much. If you are watching this on the replay, make that free Rockfin account. Go check out yesterday's exclusive broadcast. Thumbs this video up, subscribe, and share. Join the Burmese Brigade, 60,000 plus strong. And check out all the documentary films for free. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies if you need to learn about 9/11. If you're still in the dark about it. If you still think it was hijackers with box cutters that caused that big mess. It's a lot bigger than that, I promise you. And then Invisible Empire, A New World Order to Find, and Shade the Motion Picture are free right here, right now. What you waiting for? I absolutely love you guys. I want to thank you for joining me, and I will see you all on the flip side.